It is night, the world is quiet, but above, the sky is full of movement. Stars shine like little lamps. The wind turns in blue circles, and the moon shimmering in silence. This is not just a painting, it is a prayer made of color. Vincent van Gogh is often called the most beloved painter in the world, but his art was born out of suffering, solitude, and intensity few can imagine. Everything he painted, sunflowers, cypresses, cafes, himself, was full of internal fire. He died at 37, but in less than 10 years he created over 800 paintings. His final 4 years, 2 in Paris, 1 in Arles, 1 in Saint-Rémy, defined his voice, defined his legend. He was not just a painter, but a writer. His letters were mostly written to his brother Theo, but also to a whole circle of other friends. Collected and published many times, it is read as a unique literary work. Profoundly sincere, almost like a stream of consciousness, and at the same time, a confession about his inner world and artistic struggles. For art historians, these writings are indispensable. Without them, understanding his paintings would be nearly impossible. Each canvas is often accompanied by his words, small notes that unintentionally guide us on how to look, what to notice, where the emotional core lies. His letters also reveal about his solitude. In them, we glimpse not only the artist, but the vulnerable human being searching for connection. From October to December 1888, Vincent van Gogh lived with Paul Gauguin in the Yellow House in Arles. But the two clashed. Paul Gauguin painted from imagination, while Vincent insisted on painting what he saw. Their arguments grew bitter. One night, Vincent broke down, cut off part of his ear. He never saw Gauguin again. Months later, in June 1889, Vincent van Gogh went in a mental asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. And there he painted one of the most iconic images in the history of art, the Starry Night. He once wrote, "When I have a terrible need of, shall I say, the word religion, then I go out and paint the stars." And the sky, he never painted a black sky. His skies were deep blue, scattered with golden stars. He painted the sky as if it were the breath of the universe, the Milky Way into which the soul disappears. For him, the sky was a mystery, one he touched with his brushstrokes like a prayer. Bright points of light are scattered across the sky. The crescent moon on the far right and Venus, the morning star, just left of the center, each surrounded by glowing rings of white and yellow. Beneath this dramatic sky lies a quiet village, with simple houses gathered around the church, its tall steeple rising sharply above the rolling dark blue mountains in the background. In the foreground stands a cypress, dark and flame-like, rising almost to the sky. It links earth and heaven, a living memento mori, reminding us of the passage from life to death. Long associated with cemeteries and mourning, the cypress whispers that all things must end, yet in the ending, they reach toward eternity. The sight of the stars always makes me dream, Vincent van Gogh once wrote. The Starry Night is based on Vincent van Gogh's real observations, but on his imagination, memories, and feelings. The church tower, for example, looks like the ones on his Dutch homelet, not like those in France. The sky twists and turns, moving like waves instead of air. And no wonder, Vincent van Gogh loved Japanese prints, especially Hokusai's great waves of Kanagawa. You can feel the same rhythm, the same power in the sky of the Starry Night. By this point, Vincent van Gogh's abandoned brown muted colors of his early years. His palette had become electric. For Van Gogh, color was a way to express all the feelings and shades of his inner world. In one of his letters, he wrote, "I never thought you could commit a crime with blue and green. The wrong combinations of colors could destroy a painting. Its harmony, its mood, its expression. For him, color was almost like a weapon. It could create deep emotion and beauty, but it could also cause damage if misused. Blue, yellow, and orange dominate the painting. They vibrate against each other, creating tension, harmony, and light." He had once believed that painting must be done directly from life. But in the solitude of the asylum, he began to paint from within. This was a turning point, not just for him but for modern art. Some astronomers have tried to match the sky with the real sky of June 1889. Venus, the morning star, was indeed visible, but the moon was not a crescent, and from his window, Vincent van Gogh would not have seen the village in his way. He combined memory, imagination, and vision, creating time, space into one poetic moment. The village is fictional. The church steeple resembles those in the Netherlands, not Provence. Perhaps a nod to his childhood, perhaps to his father, a Protestant minister. Vincent van Gogh was trained as a preacher. Later, he rejected religion, but he never lost faith. Not in doctrine, but in sunflowers, stars, and cypress trees. He called the Starry Night as a failure. Perhaps it lacked the truth. Perhaps it was too stylized. Vincent van Gogh left the asylum in June 1819. 2 months later, he took his own life. He was just 37. In just over a decade, he created over 2,000 paintings, and he changed the course of painting. The Starry Night is not a landscape. It is not a sky. It is a soul searching, and through it, he gave us something internal, a vision of the night, burning, infinite. In New York, millions of people gather in front of the Starry Night, silent pilgrims beneath the sky, standing where Vincent van Gogh once dreamed.